For this topic, I want to talk in these three levels, national level, and regional level, and city level. As Professor Giuliano said, in China now, high-speed railway construction developed very fast, and urbanization and railway construction is a critical transportation infrastructure that impact regional and economic development. This figure shows the development history between rail construction and urbanization in China since 1949. So the railway is firmly associated with urbanization and the development metropolitan areas. Between 2000, the main issue of this stage is idling miles. And after 2000, the main trend is picking up speed. So in China, the golden age of high-speed rail begins. This research is cooperation with Professor Zhang, and also our joint project research with UC. So we have a future city collab, American and China collab. So this figure shows currently national transportation mode becomes multi-composition. And the rail transportation still support national and regional economic development. As you know, the highway developed in China is also very fast, but the rail transportation still is the main support for Chinese economic development. Especially passengers volume increased by 8% in recent 10 years. In recent 3 years, the increase keep the 10% per year. This figure shows the development of railway in China. So in recent 30 years, it's developed very fast. And especially the high-speed rail in China developed very fast, has achieved several #1 in the world. For example, the longest operation length held 20,000 kilometers till now. And the highest operating speed to 486 kilometer per hour. It's the world's highest level railway, high-speed railway, also construction in China, and so on. This figure shows the 20,000 kilometer operation high-speed railway in China. So it shows the in the east side of China. This line is the Huhuanyong line from northeast to south to the southwest. Of course, on On the national level, high-speed railway increase the accessibility of the mega regions in China. But currently, feature is fragmented and big city oriented. This figure shows the mega area in China. Is in the east side of China, especially in the Beijing-Tianjin and the Hebei province region, and in Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta. See in this area, here and here, the development of high-speed rail current character is fragmentation, high density region oriented. Developed area becomes stronger, while underdeveloped area have little benefits. So in the west of China, they have little benefits from high-speed rail. This figure also shows we could see the high-speed rail connectivity of the rich cities and regions. Cities along Beijing-Shanghai line accounts for 32.8% of the total national gross income, connecting the richest regions in China. So it's Beijing to Shanghai. This line is the first line of high-speed railway in China. Regional gap may be larger due to unbalanced spatial distribution of a high-speed railway. On the other hand, in the inner city construction of subway is also the same things. So from recently 10 years, especially in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, they have a lot of project construction of mega. So, for example, in Shanghai, just only 16 years from 0 to nearly. This figure is 2015. It's nearly 700 kilometers. In the future 5 or 10 years, this also have a lot of construction subway. So maybe in China next 5 years planning, they have almost 100 cities will construction railway station in the city. Contrast between domestic and foreign urban rail transit construction. Urban developer feels behind the transportation construction. The transportation structure needs to be adjusted according to shifting needs of mega region development. For example, it plans 3,000 kilometers rail transportation network in Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei areas. They have some problems for the China, especially major cities development. There are many challenge for us. On the national level, the high-speed rail promotes the regional equilibrium, the double effect on the national and the regional development. I think it changes from equilibrium to uneven. The agglomeration for big cities and mega regions are more obverse due to time spatial compressions effect. I want to discuss this problem with everyone today. And for China, maybe we have different views to give some discuss about these questions. And the second level is on the regional level, change of city regions relationship, location advantage change from pass and to the pass by to nodes. In the next presentation, Professor Zhang will discuss this problem. Conventionally, the location of railway station benefits city development. However, in high-speed rail area, the benefits requires the good connection of a high-speed railway station and urban space. And the third is on the city level. The impact of a high-speed railway station on city space is not only at individual points, but a connection joined to the network to the whole region. For example, in Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, the connection of a high-speed rail network and city space supports the idea of a regional integration. For us in China, the very first development of the high-speed rail and the micro construction maybe also face the challenge. The development of the high-speed rail maybe not match the city, the region, the mega city, the development. So how to match them better is the problem. And also the construction of migrants, they have a lot of maybe China in Beijing, it's more than 20 lines micro construction. I think also not good match for the city function. So for this challenge, we have some case study. So the Professor Zhang will discuss the detail of the case study. The first case study is in the region level. It's the Jing-Jing-Ji, Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region. So this is I think it's a hard talk research area in China. So,
okay. So just now, Professor Xia talked about 3 levels: national level, regional level, and within city level. We broke it into 2 separate lectures, but it's actually connected. So next, I'm going to talk about the case study of Jing-Jing-Ji, and also within the city, case study of Yizhuang line. It's an urban metro, how to match the land use with transportation. Now, currently in China, according to the national 5-year plan, we have like a dozen of mega regions here. One of them you might be most familiar is Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei area, or what we call the Great Capital Area. It covers 3 provinces, actually 2 direct cities, Beijing and Tianjin, and also a couple of cities in Hebei area. And total population and GDP is among the highest in all of the dozen of the microregions in China. And according to the 5-year plan recently, both the local government and central government highlight the connectivity of between the cities. Just last year, there is a new comprehensive plan brought up into the issue how to improve the connectivity of this region. From this map, you may notice there are a lot of the transportation corridors. Actually, with the color of blue is a freight, which mostly carry the coins and miles from Inner Mongolia to the sea, and they will carry it to shipping to both the southern part of China and other countries. And corridors with color of red is mainly supported by both highways and high-speed rail. For example, we have the most speediest highway between Beijing and Tianjin, and it's about 120 kilometers. But if you travel by the high-speed rail, it only costs within half an hour. So we do a little research about the intercity commuting. So when we talk about the issue of job housing balance, for example, in LA or the Great DC area, usually we only focus on the transportation within the city. So what if the people from other cities also found a job in, for example, central CBD areas of Beijing? And for this reason, we connected all the high-speed rail facilities here and point out all the red points as a high-speed rail station. And because the central government is pushing a lot on the connectivity between the big network and small network, what they call is a big network is a high-speed rail, but what it calls small is urban metro system. Currently, there is a misconnection between each other. For example, if I like to travel to Tianjin for the conference, I may only spend like half an hour on the high-speed rail, but it takes me more than an hour to get into the high-speed station because there are so many traffic and I had to walk in just a station for like 45 minutes to pick up a ticket. So normally people will not choose it. For example, just 2 weeks ago, I noticed Professor Yizhuang already arrived at Beijing again. But at that time, I'm bringing a couple of faculty from both UNC and UC to Tianjin. We would like to choose a high-speed rail because the professor can have an experience of the high speed. But we finally had to give up because it costs more time and we might losses in a very crowded people, so we have to book a bus there. And this is the how the connection between highways and high-speed rail. Currently, more people will still choose highway rather than high-speed rails in terms of business trip. So what's the impact of high-speed rail after it's already been built up? We notice that we do the network analysis in the traditional time between the high-speed rail build up and after. And before that, the blue color, the green color there represents accessible area within 1 hour. And within this map, it shows that only Beijing, Tianjin, and only a limited part of the whole region can be accessible within 1 hour commuting. But later, after the build-up of the high-speed rail, it connects more cities. For example, Beijing, Tianjin, Shijiazhuang, the capital area Hebei, and the northwest part of China. The accessible area within 1 hour expand a lot, almost double or triple the total area. But because accessibility increase, it doesn't mean that economy development will be also increased. Actually, it's draw more and more people flow into the central area of Beijing, while the economic growth even unbalanced between the capital area and the surrounding poor area, as Professor Xia just talked about. And based on the connectivity between the high-speed rail and urban metro system, we do analysis of how the job housing balance between each other. So according to the current network planning, there will be more, like Professor Xia mentioned, about 3,000 kilometers will be added in the next 5 years. So what will happen next? We notice that with the increase in accessibility and mobility, more and more people flow into the city. And at the same time, if we compare the per capita GDP for prefectural level cities, we also notice that the agglomeration, in fact, is more stronger than the trigger down. In fact, it is similar to the West European case. When after the high-speed rail is built up, it benefits more to the main cities and the big cities rather than the surrounding not very developed regions. And if we see the job housing balance before and after the high-speed rail is built up, we see that the mobility of population do increase because the adding facilities. But it also causes other problems later I'll mention. And also, one of the problems may lies in the where should be the high-speed rail station located. Now, currently in China, the local government, in order to improve the land value for the suburban area, some of the city will choose a very remote location of the high-speed rail station. In the intercity level, with more and more urban metro built up, we also notice there is a change of the population distribution and also job distribution. We do a comparative analysis between the year of 2000 and 2010. We choose the 2 years because every 10 years in China, there will be a population survey on the census block level. And between the years, we cannot find the data. And from this picture, it shows that with more and more urban metro line built up, there are two parallel trends. One trend is that there are some residential distribution in terms of residential suburbanization. You can notice there are many new towns emerged because the urban metro built up. For example, Tongzhou in the very east and Changping in the north, and also there is a new town called Daxing in the very south. But at the same time, we also notice there is increased density in terms of population density in the central city, especially where the metro station, where the metro lines crossed. And from this 3D map, it shows that the increase in population almost doubled in the recent years, and it's supposed more and more people would like to choose their residential location where they can easily access to the subway station. And it's in terms of population change. And so what's going on to the job distribution? Here we use the data from the basic unit survey of economy surveys. It's only currently it's only 3 times of the panel data. In order to make a comparison between each other, we use the second and the third, which happened in 2001, 2008. And it shows that while the population decentralized to suburban area, actually most of the job opportunity, they become more concentrated within the intercity, which is a very unusual way. I think it might be carry some features or special unique characters as a post-socialist city or post-socialist country, because before 2001, most of them are state-owned factory or state-owned social facilities. So they just allocated the land where they choose to be. But after that, when there are the market price have a say in the industrial location, more and more companies would like to choose a more convenient location, especially within the CBD area or where the urban metro transportation is very convenient. So here, if we see the balance between the job housing ratio, it noticed that for most of the suburban area, there are more residential populations than the number of jobs. But within the color of red, it represents that in the CBD area and within the central city, there is a job-rich area, which means that most of the suburban residents have to commute into the central city every day and back to their housing location at the end of the day, which causes a lot of traffic. I borrowed a map here from Professor Yizhuang, also our colleague from School of Engineering. It shows that the passenger flow by urban metro weekly. So what we would like to say that the municipal government of Beijing would like to solve the transportation jam only by adding more roads or adding more transportation facility. But what we are trying to say as urban planner is that if the job and housing pattern is wrong at the first hand, you cannot easily just balance them by adding more transportation facility. The good urban form should be the first thing to think if you would like to create a better urban form and really calm down traffic. Okay, so it's the end of the conclusion on regional level and national level. On the metropolitan level, high-speed rail do work as a very important infrastructure, but it's have like a double sword, have double effects. One of the effects is improve mobility and accessibility, but on the other excess, it might be make the far suburban area and very remote region worse because it's draw in most of the population and economic growth. And on urban metro, on urban scale, we do notice there is a suburbanization process in terms of residential function. But as a case study in Beijing, the job location became more concentrated with more and more urban metro built up. Okay, so it's end of this lecture, and then I'll give the another lecture. Okay, so when we zoom in the scale of urban metro, just now we talk about the national level, micro-region level, and then we'll discuss about the a single metro line. It's actually a light rail. How its impact to the surrounding region and how to integrate the transportation with land use along the urban metro system. Actually, the from this map, it shows that the urban metro build-up speed in Beijing is picking up in dramatic speed. For example, before 2000, we only have two subways, either Circle as subway line 2 and subway line is stretched from the west to the east. But until last year, in 2015, we built kind of a network connecting most of the important regions. And according to the Beijing comprehensive plan last year, it tried to evacuate people from the central city to the suburban area. So what's the impact to the suburban area? Will people really want to move outside of the central region because there are more and more facility built up? So the good initial for the government, the story goes like, if we can build a light rail there and connect it between the suburban new town with the central station in the central city, and people will try to move to the suburban area because the housing price was more cheaper and the environment was more great, and people can commute every day by the light rail. But is this a good story? What's the impact of the after the line is already built up? I choose Yizhuang line as an example. It's actually where I live, so I have to say that I never, if ever, commute by subway because it costs my like 2 hours on the hallway, and I cannot make it, so I have to travel by car. And as a supporter of the green transportation, I became reflection on myself. Why am I reluctant to choose the subway and rather than drive by cars? Not mentioned, there are many of the traffic jam in Beijing, especially during rush hour. It can be very terrible. So I noticed there may be some mismatch between each other. And Yizhuang line is connecting to the subway line 10 and subway line 5 towards the very far end of the suburban area. So the terminal of Yizhuang line is designed or planned to be a high-speed rail station, so there will be well connection between each other. It's kind of like copy the model of Douglastown in New York. I mean, if you can choose 2 ways. One is travel by subway line 7 and to Douglastown. And if you are really don't worry about the money you spend, you can choose the rail, which only one stop. So there is an ideal situation. But for some reason, the high-speed rail station is not built up, so people must only account for the single line to commute every day. And this is a research framework. So my research will more focus on the detail level. Actually, we according to the planning theory in China, they do highlight the integration between land use and transportation. And here is a model. For example, I choose three urban metro stations. One is located in the near suburban area and 2 located a little bit further away. So why I choose these 3 stations is because the first one can represent a kind of mix between residential and commercial, and the second is also a kind of residential, but it's not realized according to the plan. Most of them are actually industrialized use, and the very further one in around the terminal is only focused on the industrial, and probably there are other kind of other use, very remote and rural one. This is the ideal model according to the TOD, Transit-Oriented System principle. So near the central station, ideally there will be a commercial area, and people after work they are shopping before they get back to home. And then there may be some office nearby, so they will provide some local jobs rather than commute to the central city. They will have other choices or selections as a local commuter. And outside, there will be a surrounding area of the residential area. The model is used everywhere around the new town development. So according to the plan, literally, both the planner and the government official, they highlight the principle of TOD ideas. But what I would like to see in this research is how the reality goes on. So I just compare between the actual use in reality as a left and the comprehensive planning map in the right. And according to the plan, actually this station, which is have the better location near the central city, is most of the plan are realized. Only part of the there are residential area according to the plan, and there is a commercial along the lines. And the only failure in realizing the plan lies in the only is a plaza over there, but actually it turned out to be in a residential district because the developer wants to make money out of the selling the land rather than build up facilities or commercial areas. But if we see what the situation goes on for the other remote station, it's obvious different. It's a second map of the location located in the middle, and according to the plan, it's a very perfectly balanced between job and housing, and it provides local job facilities near the station. Well, there are some residential areas surrounding, and also there are some commercial facilities nearby. But when the new town was developed, it showed that only limited residential area is built up, and the developers have to sell the land to the industry and make it a work unit compound, and there is no interaction between residential and industrial. If you are just walking along the street, this will be very boring because all of the residential areas are gated community, and the industrial compounds, they are also gated community. So it's a very boring street if you walk along the subway line, and it might be very dangerous in the evening. And we also do the comparative analysis based on the between and before and after the Olympic in 2008 and 2015. It shows that for the first station, which have a better location, more and more commercial facilities are added up to the original plan and make it sound better or perfect match the original plan. But if we see what is going on for the next two stations, the story is not going on very well according to the original plan. For example, for the second stop, there used to plan a very big residential, very big commercial area near the metro station, but actually, because the developer only eager to selling the house, and the housing price increased dramatically this year, and there are more and more residential developments built up. And also, if we see what is going on in the last station with a very remote location, it shows that because the limitation of land use, only industrial uses become occupy the lines and make the total region as an industrial zone rather than a new town. So it's come to our conclusion here along the in the macro level. So ideally, we have to balance the land use function along the urban metro. Firstly, the highest value will be commercial, and outside will be the office use or industrial, and at last is the residential use. But the reality is not always coordinates with the land of value, because there are too many constraints according to current plan. And in this case study, if we pick out all the commercial use along the metro line, it shows that there are very limited commercial facility along the line, which make the life in the new town very difficult if you are now travel to other regions like shopping or find some amenities to the movie theater or find your make your quality of life increased. And also, according to the plan, there will be a streetcar like zoning system of the TOD. But it turned out to be when the government cut a piece of the land and selling to the developer, it's very difficult to control what kind of urban function you can bring in the new town. So it turned out to be part of the failure of the original plan. And also we do a very small sample of the questionnaire to ask people where do you live and where you found a job near the three of the metro stations. We found it that according to the original plan, if there is a residential area in the suburban, and most of people will go to the new town as a new job center, so it can be a reverse commuting, and it will not cause actual commute or actual traffic to the whole city. But the story goes on. Even if there is a remote new town located in the very far suburban area, the people are reluctant to find a job in the new town because there is only industrial job. For example, I would like to working as faculty in one of the university or college, but there is no universities in the new town, so I have to travel into the intercity. And most of my neighbors who working as in the bank or as commercial or working in the office, they have to find a very good job in the inner city rather than travel to the new town. So every day the traffic flow into the central city is very heavy. And also I borrow one of the map of the last study here. Why this suburban function become suburbanized while the job function become more concentrated near the subway station. I guess it might be because the location of jobs, the value of land become more and more obvious for the private company when they decide where they would like to locate their factories or their companies in order to absorb more talented people as the middle class or the young generation. You have to locate your enterprise where it can be easily accessible by urban metro. So that's a final conclusion of our research. Ideally, there will be a TOD model or there is a principle when they plan the new town development. But actually, it turned out to many of the new town development in China turned out to be a failure. It's failure to absorb certain kind of jobs and certain kind of population because there is a mismatch between what the people live there, what they need, and what they actually have. For example, if they want to send their children to a better school, they must find a location in the inner city. And in terms of the elderly, they are also reluctant to live in the suburban area because the good hospital in the suburban area is very rare because of the lack of facility and amenity. Only depending on one of the transportation infrastructure, like urban metro line, cannot realize the original plan. And also, we noticed that because of very strict zoning system, it will be very difficult to change the zoning code. And where they have a very high value of land price, they cannot choose it to become a commercial area because it's, according to the plan, it will be more industrial function use and it cannot be changed within 10 or 20 years. For example, when we did a project here in Yizhuang, we see what kind of urban form is better for creative industry. And according to the plan, 10 years ago, there should be only industrial use. But with the increased value in the land market, actually more and more creative industry, most of them are small businesses that require more commercial land as their office. But according to the zoning code, they cannot provide because there is a forbidden code of the changing land use functions according to the master plan. So that's all, I think. Thank you, and welcome to questions.